श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Now, today we are really going to come to the Vedic description of the transfer of karma. Many people in our group had evinced an interest to know how exactly the karma is transferred from one body to the other. Now, we are first talking of the gross body. The karma is done by the gross body, but we know the gross body is inert. So there has to be something within it which gives the ability for the organs of the gross body to function. And that is what we call the subtle body. But let us first understand what is a gross body. The gross body consists of the 9 doors, we say, Sapnavadvara Puridehi. That means the 9 doors are the 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and the mouth, which makes it 7. And then you have the 2 excretory organs and the reproductive organs. So, 9 doors are there. And this gross body consists of Sapta Dhatu, 7 substances, that may be dhatus we say. That is the asti it is, that is bones. Then majja, which is marrow, bone marrow. Then meda, which is the fat. Then mamsa, which is flesh. And rudira, which is blood. And again the 2 liquids, that is the shukla shonita, which are the sperm and the female egg or the ovum. Now, in all, these are the 7 dhatus, and it has got shad vikara, 6 modification. Asti, that means it is existing. Jayate, then it is born. Vardhate, it grows. Parinamate, it changes. And then it apakshyate, it decays. Vinashyati, it dies. So this is the story of the gross body. We call it the sthula sharira, gross body. Now, this gross body, as we said, is totally inert. It cannot function on its own. So how does the gross body function? Behind it are the indriyas, or the senses. Now, we have also the, so first we will talk of the 10 senses, and also there are the 5 aspects of respiration or vital energy, what you call pancha prana. So we have 5 karmendriyas, that is the motor and the senses of organs of action, that is Vak, Pani, Payu, Upastha. So Vak is the speech, Vak, Pani, hands, Padam, the feet, which helps you to walk, Vak, Pani, Padam. Payu is the excretory organ, Upastha is the reproductive organ. Now these are not these are the senses, these are karmendriyas, which give the gross body the power to function. For example, the eyes are located here on the gross body, which is called the golaka. Now, the possibility of the eye to see, that is the sight or vision, is called the indriya, or the senses which allow the eye to see. So that is, we had said that is the intelligence of the devata. So we have the Surya Devata, who gives capacity or the ability to the eye to see. So the indriya is called as the netra indriya, and the other one is called netra. Now, Netra Indriya is in the subtle body, and Netra Indriya is given that ability by the Devata, who is the Surya Devata. So we have we call the Adhyatmika, that is the, what are the names of the various organs, let us say, of the senses, and the Adibhautika, where they are, what is their function. Then we have the location, and we have the Adidevikas who are making it function. So we have the four antakarana, which is mind, intellect, memory, what we call mana, buddhi, chitta, and then ego, ahankara. And the job of mind is to think, of the intellect is to take decisions, and memory is a storehouse of all the memory. Ego is the sense of I-ness. I means connected with this body. And the location of the mind is the throat. Location of the intellect is the face. Because, if somebody understands, we immediately make out by looking at their face. Memory is the location of memory is the navel. The location of the ego is the heart, the I-ness. And the Devata who controls this is mind is controlled by moon or Chandra Devata. Intellect is controlled by Brahmaji. Memory is controlled by Vishnu. Ego is controlled by Rudra, that is Shiva. Then we have the Pancha Prana. That is, we have Prana, that is when we exhale. Apana, when we inhale, when we digest and all, the Apana Vayu is used. So Prana Vayu, Apana Vayu. Then Vyana Vayu, which is holding the breath. We say Kumbhaka also. And it is normally in the neck. The Prana Vayu is in the face. Apana Vayu is in the anus and the private organ. And Udana Vayu takes us to the next birth. And also every night we go to sleep through the Udana Vayu. And it extends from Sushupna Nadi to the toe. That means from top to bottom. And Aditya, the Surya, is the Devata of Pranavayu. Apanavayu, Varuna. Vayanavayu's Devata is Vayu. Udanavayu's Devata is Tejas. And Samanavayu's Devata is Akasha. Now we have the 5 Jnanendriyas, that is the sense organs by which we see the external world. Ear, hearing. The ear, or Srotra Indriya, we say, its location is the ear. But the Indriya is invisible. It's a sense of hearing. And Dikpalakas, Devatas are the Devata who control it, and its function is hearing. The skin, it touches, and the location is the skin. And the Devata who helps you, because Sparsha is a quality of Vayu. So the wind god of Vayu is the Devata. Eye is for seeing, and that is eye, Netra Indriya, located in the eyes, and its function is to see, and it's Surya Devata who controls it. The tongue is for tasting, Rasanendriya, we say Jiva, and palate, or you can say, and the Devata is Varuna Devata. Nose or the nostrils are for smelling, Gandha, and nose, it is located in the nostrils. And the Ashwini or Devatas, twins are, that is Nasatya and Asra, are the gods or Devatas taking care of it. Then we have the Karmendriyas, Vak, Pani, Padam, Payu, Upastha. Vak is speech or speaking, and location is chest, throat, and face. Agni is the Devata for Vak. Pani, that is giving and taking from the hand, it is located in the hands. Indra is the Devata for Pani. Pada is for walking, that is the 2 legs. But the Indriya is the Pada, because Karmendriya is the force behind, or the intelligence behind possibility to walk. That is, Upendra is the god. Payu is for defecating, and it is the location is anus. And Mrityu Devata is guiding it. Upastha, urinating, etc., is the private organ. And Prajapati is the god functionally. So now we've understood what is the gross body and what is the subtle body. It is through the subtle body, which we call the Sukshma Sharira, that the Sthula Sharira or gross body is able to function. The gross body is visible, but the Sukshma Sharira or the subtle body is not visible to our eyes. Only through its functioning we understand it. Now, we have to understand that what happens at the time of death, because having worked, all these organs over time become weak and exhausted and decay. Therefore, sharira, the word sharira itself means shiryate iti sharira. That means that which decays is the sharira or body. So this body decays, and what happens at the time of death is what we're going to understand. First thing that stops functioning is our motor organs, karmendriya, vak, pani, padam, vayu, upastha. And what do we see in a person who is dying is that first his speech stops. He stops speaking, and his hands, legs do not, he doesn't have the possibility of moving them. And then the relatives come and ask him, can you recognize me? So there may be tears in his eyes because he wants to speak but cannot speak. So everybody says, oh, he recognizes, only he's not able to speak. That means a process has taken place which is called Vag Vritti. Vag Vritti is these 5 motor organs, the karmendriyas, take a shape. They get frozen and take a shape which is called Vag Vritti. And now they go to the mind and rest there. And at that time, the person is unable to use the motor organs. Then what happens is, after some time, he is not even able to see or interact with people. Again, they come and see and they find, oh, he's not speaking at all. And they say, that means his mind is not, he's not recognizing anymore. Mind is not working. That we call Mano Vritti. That means now the senses, that is the jnanendriyas, they stop functioning and they get frozen and take a shape which is called Mano Vritti. They also, that means now the Vag Vritti and Mano Vritti will coalesce and be staying in the mind. Then what happens? Finally, the prana stops. All the 5 pranas together, they take a shape that is called Prana Vritti. So, Vag Vritti, Mano Vritti, Prana Vritti, first motor organs or karmendriya stopping, then the jnanendriya stopping or the senses stopping, and then all of them are taking a shape. Because if you have still karmas, whatever impressions are there, they will all get now into this Vag Vritti, Mano Vritti, and Prana Vritti. Now, even after the prana stops, or he stops breathing, sometimes there is heat in the body. So people say it's not yet, dead. There is heat in the body. But finally, when the Jivatma takes away all these 3, which have been in the mind, along with the mind, Buddhi, Chitta, Ankara, the Jivatma pulls out all these 3, Vagvritti, Manovritti, and Pranavritti, which have taken a shape, and leaves the gross body through one of the 9 doors that we said, either through the eyes or the ears or some say Brahmandra or from any other lower organs. Some people talk about where they will go depending on which organ the prana has gone or the Sukshma Sharira has left. So when the Sukshma Sharira leaves, then this body becomes totally inert and we say the person is dead. Now, what is the process after death? What happens? After death, this Sukshma Sharira goes up to the clouds, into the various lokas, depending on the karma. If he's done punya karma, he go to higher lokas, deva loka, swarga, and all that. But in one lifetime, the punya that you do is not enough for you to make you stay permanently in swarga. So, when the punya gets over, shine punye, matti loke vishanti, they come back again to the earth. But anyway, how they come back also we will understand. So then they spend in different lokas according to the karma, either Swarga or Naraka. If they've done more papa, they will be in Naraka. That means in Swarga they'll have more pleasures and comfort. In Naraka they will have more pain and discomfort. So both these may be there. For some time they will be in Naraka, or sometime in Swarga and all that. And then on an average, a person with these karmas still left lives for 100 years like that in some different lokas. Average. Some may come before or some may come later. So then, after those, around this 100 years, within that, they will come back again to the earth. How do they come? How does this come? See, we said that the gross body cannot be taken. So it is only the mind, etc., through the Jivatma takes the Sukshma Sharira, and Jivatma is invisible. It is a Sukshma Sharira. And now what happens? The seed, like DNA, is there. Today, they say that it comes to the cloud. This Jivatma, the Sukshma Rupa, comes into the clouds. Today, in science, some people say they have found DNA in the clouds. Whatever it is, this from the cloud, this Jivatma in this seed form, Sukshma form, will fall on some plants or cereals, etc. And the would-be father, when that father eats this particular plant or cereal in which that Jivatma is situated, then it will enter the sperm of the father. But supposing someone else eats this particular plant in which this Jivatma is situated, then that is not the would-be father. Then through the excretory organ, this Jivatma will again come out and wait for the father. When the father is ready, then it will enter the sperm of the father, and through that it will enter the womb of the mother. And when the egg and the ovum and the sperm get together, the fetus is formed, and then that's how in the womb it grows for 8 to 9 months inside the womb of the mother, and then mother delivers the baby, and it can take any form. And depending on if the punya is more than the papa, the Jivatma will get a Devata Sharira. There are, if so, 100, if Ashwamedha Yaga, one if is done, they'll get the position of Indra. Similarly, different yagas have different phalas, and then they will enter the particular uh, body of that, the sperm of that father. If it is a devata, because if they are more punya, they'll get the devata sharira. The punya and papa are equal, one gets the human body. And if the punya, papa is more than the punya, either animal or still papa is more, means one will get the life of body of an insect, or still, because what happens, the insect's life will be low because it can quickly kill the insect. So that's why it is done more papa. Anyway, this is how the rebirth takes place. But God has made two things which is very happy for the human being. The moment that the human being is born, the Jivatma is born, forgets all that has happened in the previous births. There are some special people like Jada Bharata who are called Jatismara, and they remember because they have done so much yogic practices that when they get, for example, Jada Bharata, due to a small attachment to a deer, when he was actually doing tapas in the forest, leaving his kingdom, he was a Raja king, and yet, but this deer attracted him. He fell in, had attachment to the deer. So in the next life, he was born as a deer. But because of his great yogic practices, he remembered that he was so and so. So even as a deer, he didn't behave, didn't mingle with other deers or do such things, Papa and all. Anyway, let us know that there is no agami karma. The animals do not have, whatever they do, they are only finishing their papa in the animal body. But it's not so with man. We will come to that, what is prarabdha karma and etc. But now let us understand that normally they will forget. And it's actually a blessing, because if you remembered what you have done in the previous births, it might be really scary for you. And the other thing that God has done is we still have hope and expectation in this life. And He gives us an opportunity to improve our karma, to go forward. And if we are really too doing a lot of tapas and austerity, and we are doing dhyana and japa and want to get God realization, then even in this very birth, we may attain a position. There is no desires, and there is no Vag Vritti or Mano Vritti or Prana Vritti taking place at the time of death. So then there is no rebirth. That is the final goal for all of us. But this is how the karma is transferred from one gross body through the Sukshma Sharira or the subtle body. It comes back in another body. But which body it will come back to will depend on God. Because we don't, after that, there is no control that the jiva has. Jiva can try to, at best, do the karma which is good and prescribed by the Shastra. But what will be the phala, what are the fruits of this karma, is not at all under control of the Jivatma, which we'll understand more when we understand the Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agami karma. But today we have understood how this subtle body, through the various vrittis, comes back, and how God makes arrangement for the new body of the Jivatma, into which that Jivatma enters. Now, some people raise a question, but in some lower creatures, there does not appear to be any difference. For example, all honeybees are identical. How is that to be explained? No, that is not correct. In every animal, there is difference. Every jivatma is different, coming with different inclinations, different powers, according to what they have earned in their previous lives or previous birth. Then there another question is raised by the opponent. In some recent experiments, they say mice were made to procreate among their own brothers and sisters. The differences were disappearing gradually. How could that be explained? Now, this is a part of that so-called Mendelian laws of inheritance. This has been already contradicted by others. For instance, Roger Williams in Texas University conducted the same experiment and found differences in desires and abilities. So, indeed, even a stronger result has been observed by Roger Williams in the case of a creature called armadillo. In this case, a single cell causes the embryo and splits into four in due course, giving rise to four chicks. According to Mendel, they have to be identical, but Roger has observed a lot of differences. So, even in science, many things are being done to understand how this. But again, science is only explaining how. Why? We have to understand why there is rebirth only through the Vedas. So, today's session we will close with this, and we will continue further discussions and take up more questions that are raised in this context in our coming sessions. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै श्रीनारायणायेति समर्पयामि. हरि ओम तत्सत्.